So ladies, I have another message for you, and I don't know if you can apply this one practically, but it's been on my mind lately here, so I thought I'd just talk about it. So I title this, The Image of God. You know, from time to time I've heard pastors say that the primary distinguisher between man and the rest of creation, and that what is really the element that makes us in the image of God, unlike the animals, you know, the birds and the bees, is the fact that we have a spirit, and they don't. And when I give this some thought, I think that's only partially true, because clearly the angels are spiritual entities as well, good or bad. So there must be something else, or a whole series of something else's, that make the construction, perhaps, of our spirits different from other spirits, that is, from angelic spirits. And I wonder if some of those differences that go into making us in God's image aren't the fact that perhaps we have a greater level of free will than the angels do. And again, this is conjecture. And maybe it's also the fact that we enjoy a greater depth of humor than they do. That we, in some areas, enjoy a greater depth of intellect than they do. If maybe we enjoy a greater depth of intimacy and closeness with God than they do. Maybe those are the differences in the construction of our spirits that go into making us in God's image, as opposed to the angels. I mean, obviously, some of these things we can never be privy to while we live, but perhaps when we pass into eternity, we can ask God those questions, or maybe we won't even have to. It'll just be so obvious to us. And pushing on maybe a little further, perhaps that's one of the reasons, or really the sole reason, why Satan and his demons hate us so much, because we are in God's image. And I think in a very real sense, though this is not traditionally understood in the church, man is made higher than the angels. We are lower for a time, but ultimately we will be higher than them. And so maybe there is a great deal of jealousy over those things. And I guess if there is a practical application to this message, it is not to sell yourself short. You're valued. You're in the image of the Almighty God. And so the enemy will always try and convince you that you're not, for the sole purpose of devaluing you. But don't be deceived. God loved you so much that he sacrificed himself for you and permanently joined himself to humanity through the death and resurrection of his Son. Anyway, just some food for thought. God bless you both.